Alexandra Bjertnæs, Chief Strategy Officer of Meltwater. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Wonderful.
And you had a big job yesterday. You interviewed the Gwyneth Paltrow.
I did.
How was that?
It was fantastic. I really enjoyed every minute of it.
Great. And she talked a lot about Goop and her leadership role there, and actually a lot about marketing and comms, which I thought was really cool and very awesome. What was it like working with her, on the
I think
potential interview?
she's great to work with. I have to say, she's authentic, she's genuine, she's grounded, down to earth, very genuine all around, an easy person to talk to. So I was a bit surprised. I didn't quite know what she was going to be like. I watched her podcast, but I really enjoyed the time with her right before the interview, and we had a little bit of time after the interview. Of course, during the interview, it was fantastic. She's just a very knowledgeable, wise person with lots of experience. One of the reasons we wanted to have her here was that her many pivots in her life, the many roles that she's played, and her knowledge and her wisdom and her desire to share that, to make the world a better place in many ways, to help women, but also to actually set the tone right when it comes to following your vision and being a genuine person and listening to your gut and your intuition, and generally wanting to help, I think, people around you.
Yeah, she was very open about her experiences, and I think the audience really appreciated that. And speaking of the audience, what were some of the key takeaways for them from the session?
Yeah, there were a bunch of great takeaways. I was watching them on LinkedIn and talking to customers that are here. First of all, I think that what she said was very relevant for the audience. She gave a lot of insights in terms of how do you handle communications, what is it like to build a brand, and how do you actually do things over time that actually pay off. She used a bunch of fantastic terms like ROI and TAM, which and attribution. So, but to answer your question, when it comes to PR, I think my takeaway sitting there was all PR is good PR as long as you have integrity with it along the way, which I think is really great. She said that, just be yourself and have that integrity with you, no matter what. If they come after you and if they have different, comments on what you're doing, listen, acknowledge, understand it, drill down to the data, understand where it's coming from, and then decide if you want to answer or not, or double down or not on it, as long as your integrity is with you all the way. So all PR is good PR. I think the other thing was, for me, was building a brand over time. So for the marketers in the room, as well as the PR people in the room as well, building a brand over time, being authentic and genuine, following your vision, and then, experimenting, trying, learning, but always be true to yourself, be authentic to what you're trying to build, and you will build that brand equity over time, and it'll pay off.
Yeah, she was very candid about the company values and mission, and really, just following what the audience wants, and listening to them and going from there. So that was great. She talked a lot about brand leadership at Goop and her role there. Is there any difference promoting a business for her because she's a celebrity? Is there any different way that she strategized in that aspect?
It's a very good question. I asked her the question, how do you separate your own brand from the Goop brand, and when do you keep them together? And it seems like they're quite intertwined, obviously. She does have her own brand, her own identity, and she tries to keep her personal life private, but she is very much into the Goop brand, and as I did mention too, they're very lucky to have her. I mean, she's an amazing, she models, and she's an advocate, and she's very much active into the business, and she leads with the vision and the direction. So I think for her, they're very intertwined. There's a lot of brand capital there, but she did say that at some point she'd like to step away from the brand and let it drive its own course, when she feels the time is right to do that.
That's great. Last question. What other PR and marketing topics have you seen trending at the summit?
Oh, so many. I love Summit. I mean, people are engaged, they're curious, which is another aspect of Gwyneth that I love as well. This curiosity, this desire to learn, and of course to share, right? So I'm seeing so many people getting to know each other, building networks here. I think one of the topics that is trending that people are very curious about is all things AI. And to be more specific, GEO, AEO, where is it going? How do I use it? How do I get that visibility that I want? And how do I engage with the LLMs or the channels that are feeding the LLMs? So I think, for example, our LinkedIn report that just got published, it's very interesting in aspect in terms of, how that actually resonates with the different LLMs, ChatGPT, Perplexity, and how people can actually build on those strategies to take that position that they want in the market, and being very very intentional about it. So a lot of strategy conversations, a lot of how to put this into action. I mean, our new focus now for us as a business is actionable insights. So insights you can act on, and then making sure that all the takeaways here are things that people can apply, now, tomorrow, the day after, to actually build on the businesses and the KPIs that they need to deliver on.
Yeah, the sessions have been great. I went to one on influencers with Lonely Planet, and it really gave you kind of a step-by-step guide to building out a creator program. Yeah. And I thought that was really useful for the audience, and I think the takeaways have been awesome. So good work with that.
Thank you so much. It's all about showing, not only telling, right? You want to see and you want to be able to do it yourself. Yeah, and that's what we're here to help make happen, to add value.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Likewise, it was wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you.